A few days ago, I did a series of Rorschach type printing and stamping paintings. I did 53 of them. I'll put a card up here if you're curious and you want to watch it. So today I want to revisit them, and since I have multiple prints of the same kind of painting, I'll be able to try different versions of the same painting and see what it gives, see what works, see what doesn't work, and hopefully learn from it. It's a little bit nerve-wracking because once something is made, you're kind of afraid to mess it up. I don't know if you're like me, but that's how I am. I'm afraid to ruin it in a way. But there's multiple ones, and also these are studies. These are not necessarily finished works, at least, well, most of them. Some are kind of came out nice enough. But anyways, I have to tell myself that it's better to explore and go too far and learn than just be too cautious, you know? You don't learn when you're too cautious. So carefree experimentation, here we go. Okay, so I picked a few, well, a lot. I'm not gonna do them all today because there are so many, but I'm gonna pick kind of like at random on a whim and do like the best that I can to bring them to a better place or to a different place. And I don't know exactly how many I'll do. I'll just see how things go depending on how much detail I put on each. I'll give it my very best shot, and we'll see what it is. Here is the aftermath of the working session. This is what it looks like when I'm done working. I worked on 9 pieces. I have to say that not relying on color to make something interesting is very, very difficult. I feel like my weakness is in composition, so I think I have to dedicate a couple sessions probably onto focusing on shapes and composition, because I feel like that's where I struggle more with what to do. I think I have good textures in mind and what to do texture wise, but composition, I find myself hesitating a little bit too often. The deeper I get into these explorations of abstract black and white, I'm realizing more what I like and what I dislike. It's very clear that I prefer a very simple shape without too much textures. As an example, to me this piece is very, very interesting, whereas for someone else it would be nothing. And let's say this piece I'm less attracted to. I like bold, simple paintings. That's what I prefer, simple, focused pops of black. I also really like contour lines. For some reason, they speak to me. So as I'm working, I'm not dismissing intricate designs or more complicated compositions and stuff like that, because I feel like this right now is an exploration, but I'm absorbing what I really truly lean towards. Another thing that I've realized is that it's extremely hard for me to assess how interesting or well I did within a session right after I'm done. I look at the pieces and I have a hard time assessing what really works and what doesn't. Some of them obviously pop and you know right away, but some of them kind of grow on you. And sometimes I found myself feeling a little disappointed after a session, thinking, oh, this wasn't that great, or I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. And then a few days later, being very surprised, thinking, well, it wasn't that bad. There's many interesting pieces. So it's really hard to assess right away because you're too much in it, right? So within the before and afters, I think a few of them were successful. Some of them went absolutely nowhere, and that's to be expected. That it's always like a mix of successes and failures. I have to confess that it's kind of difficult to show your failure for everyone to see, but I think it's also important. That's why I feel it's super important to focus on doing it and enjoy what you're doing, because at least if it doesn't come out the way you wanted it to, you still had a good time. And David always says you have to go through 80% of crap work to get like the gem, the 20% of like diamonds. So if I get 20% right, I'm good. Okay, it's time to clean up. I'll see you tomorrow.